Today, in the next few minutes, you will have an awesome project ready to add to your resume. I will teach you how to develop an e commerce application. It will be useful for your clients as well. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scalar's YouTube channel. I am Soumya, a software engineer and an educator. Before we get into the tutorial, make sure you check out our free masterclasses by industry leading experts. Link is in the description. So today we will be creating our own e-commerce application, right? E-commerce application. In our day-to-day life, we use so many applications, and shopping applications are one of the most common ones. Like we have so many apps like Myntra, Amazon, Meesho for food stuff. We have Zomato, Swiggy, and so much, right? So we will be creating our own version of shopping app. And you know what? Clients nowadays are so much inclined to using such kind of shopping applications. I mean, they want their own app where they can sell their products, and everyone is into businesses, entrepreneurship nowadays. So having an application similar to shopping app is very common now. So if you know this skill, you can build application for your clients, especially if outside of India, so you will earn a lot. So with that being said, let me help you understand the developer perspective of e-commerce or shopping application. So let's say if this is the screen of your application, okay, this is a screen of your application, and if you are a user, so we have a kind of search bar here, and then search icon is here. If I have to search something, if I have to buy something, I usually write here in this search bar and then just press on enter or the search icon. So let's say I want to purchase a new purse. Okay, I want to purchase a new purse or bag, anything. So when I write search, so they show me a list of items, a list of purse from different brands here on the screen. For the user, it's so easy. I mean, in just seconds they see all the items present. But if we look at developer's perspective, I mean, obviously developer will not sit and hard code all these datas which are here on the screen. Developer cannot manually write that, okay, this bag is from XYZ brand and the cost is this, the rating is this. Obviously all these things are kind of automated. I mean, from somewhere we are getting the data. It's not at all hard coded, right? Because at some points, for basic stuff, let's say if this is your screen and you just have to show name of the maybe founder or company name, any such thing, so you can hard code this as well, right? This can be hard coded. But where we have these kind of datas which can be changed anytime, these are real time data, and to manage real time data we need the concept of APIs. We want to understand what are APIs. Basically it bridges the gap between the data present, the real time data, and the developer who is writing the code. So developer can access the real time data, can access the data using API. Let me help you understand how and why. So this is working of API. Let's quickly go through it. End user, that is you, will get all the required information on your app screen. Developers, that is us, will design the app such that it could access the data stored in databases via APIs. So we are developers, and here we have all the database present. The data and software of other brands will be used to get third party services, etc. Basically this is database, and we are here developers. So what are APIs? They kind of work as bridge gapper between these two things. API will connect the databases to access required information and send to the application. Once we'll do practical of it, you will understand it even in better way. So the full form of API is application programming interface. You can take a screenshot of this and try to understand what is the flow here. Step 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, everything, right? So in short, API is used to access the data, the real time data which is present in the database, and then we show the data, everything, to the user. All right, I hope this example was also clear to you. If not, just keep putting things in the comment section and I'll answer all of them. Okay, so the picture that you are seeing here, what exactly this is called as JSON. Okay, so we got a bit of overview of what are APIs. So APIs, that is application programming interface, these are represented in JSON format, and this whole thing is exactly your JSON format. I mean, this is sample data. Data can be anything, but this is the format of JSON. So what JSON format is, so if you see here itself, this is the starting point of the API. I mean, this is in JSON format, and this is the starting point of the API. So here we have this object, symbol, and inside object we have one object called bands. Then inside bands we have this starting array which is ending here. So let's look at this. I'll use pencil. So we have one object here, okay, one object. Inside this object only one bands is present, only one object is present. Inside the bands is array of something. Inside this bands we have this object 1, obj1, and this is your obj2, object 2, okay. And for the first object we have these parameters: name, description, image, year, album, etc. For the second object as well we have name, description, image, etc. So I mean, this way it can have multiple objects as well: object 1, object 2, object 3. This is basic kind of structure of JSON data. So wherever you see curly braces in JSON data, that means it is an object. If you see square bracket, that means it is an array. So in this case, what we were doing in this case, if you see, so we had this starting curly braces, that is the starting of the object, and then we had data like bands. So in this way we can have multiple things, like we can have products as one of the objects, and then inside product we can have multiple stuff, like product is one object, and then we can have array of multiple products like object 1, object 2, object 3. Inside this we can have name, iPhone, we can have if this is object 2, then name, maybe laptop is also also a product, and then another object can be your shoes as well, anything, right? So this is your array, sorry, this is your object, and inside this we have one object. First one is products, which is array of multiple object, object 1, object 2, object 3, right? In the same way, other parameter here can be, other object can be your maybe like total product, right? This will be of type integer, of type int. In this way it can also have some values. This is kind of basic structure of JSON. If you will like search on the internet, I mean, what and how this is JSON sample, JSON data, etc., then you will get a better idea. Let's try searching for it. So if I write JSON data example, so if you see here, maybe let's quickly open any of these. So this is also JSON data example only. So here you can see this is the starting point of the object, and then we have so many parameters like business ID, full address, hours, categories. Inside category we have array like burgers, fast food, restaurants. Then we have city parameter, then again neighbors is an array. I mean, this way it goes on, right? You just need to remember one thing which is very, very important: the difference between the curly and the square bracket. Curly means it's an object, otherwise it's array. And once I'll take an API for our application, like we are going to design a shopping application, so I will take one API from the internet, and with the help of that I will explain you more like how we should read the JSON data. Perfect, sounds like a plan, yeah? So let me tell you how we are going to design our shopping application, okay? If this is the screen, I'll keep it simple, like I won't design extra stuff here, nothing fancy, no splash screen, nothing like bottom navigation or side navigation bar or anything like that. If you want videos on more exciting stuff like how to design bottom navigation or how to beautify the application, those introductory pages, boarding a screen. Just put all these demands in the comment and we'll be bringing all those stuff. Okay, for now we are going to design our shopping application for which advanced concepts are used. So we have to focus on theory more, we have to focus on code more, and beautification of the app can be done later as well, right? So basically what I will do, I will first step is I will find an API. Okay, I will find an API for us which we will use in our application. We'll see what kind of data the API is having. So right now we are using API from the internet, but later on, let's say if you have your own customer who has her own startup and her own products are there, then in that case you will need to design API. That's also pretty much simple, not a big deal, not rocket science. So first I'll find an API for ourselves, and after that I'll follow the steps which are there to build an application using API. I just want to kind of show the API data into my application. So I will design my application in a way, let's say we can have card views here, we will show item image here, then item name here, and maybe price or description of the item here, right? Something like that we'll try to do. Let's see, it depends. This design completely depends on what kind of API, what kind of data we get. So first thing, let's do find the API, and after that in the Android Studio I will add some dependencies, some third party dependencies which are must to have if we are working with APIs, like Retrofit. This is a third party library, this is third party dependency which we use when we are working with APIs in Android. And then we will have some other dependencies like JSON or maybe Picasso, etc. So let's do these steps and then we'll come back and see what next. So I am going to keep the iPad aside, and after that I will try to find a suitable API for us where we can find some products. So let's type here, maybe let's add JSON as well. So REST JSON API kind of. Okay, I think I have explored many of these actually. And let's see which one should we try. Let's see how this one is. JSON placeholder, free fake APIs for testing and prototyping. So don't worry about the fake word. It's not going to harm your application or you. And here if we scroll down, so they are saying you can try it this way, when to use, these are the resources. So these are some fake data for sample post if you are developing social media app. Then to understand stuff you can use this posts endpoint. So this is called endpoint. Let me tell you this as well. We want common album photos to those users. Well, we want something related to products. I want a bunch of data about some sample shopping products, maybe some categories or something like that. So here I don't see something similar to products. So let's go back and see if we have products related endpoint at some other website. Dummy JSON and fake store API. So they have products. Interesting. They have got a bunch of products here, and this is, I know, a bit overwhelming. It's obvious. It happens when you see JSON in this format, it is overwhelming. So let's maybe use this one only, fake store API. This looks good to me. Dummy JSON is also okay-ish. I have seen this website before as well. So if I do it like this, so this is the dummy JSON. They also have this product endpoint. Okay, let's maybe use this one only. They have iPhone 9, this is product 1, then they have more IDs, more products. It's indeed a bit unreadable. So what I will do to make it simple for you people, I will open JSON formatter and I will explain this this JSON data to you in an easy way so you understand things easily. Okay, I'm opening up this website and I will copy all this data. I will do Control A here and copy this JSON data and I'll paste it here and I'll process this data. So here it is for us. Let me explain you. So this is one object, right? It's very important to understand how JSON data is processed, what JSON data is, how it is, read. It's very important how to read, write JSON data. So this is one object. Inside this object, we have multiple things, not multiple, 4 things only. The number one is we have products, then total is I think giving us the total number of products that we have. Then this is a skip parameter and then limit 30. I'm not sure the significance of limit parameter in this data, but yes, these are the 4 parameters that we are having. So if I open up the products one, so in products as well, I can see, I think we literally have 100 data. Let's maximize this. So once again, object, inside this we have 4 parameters. This is of type int, this is of type integer. Products, this parameter, this one is having an array of objects. So it is having object 1, this is object 2, object 3, the 4th object is Oppo F19 phone. This is description of the phone. Okay, this is the price, this is discount, percentage, rating, stock, everything. Images are also available, so we will use these images, we will use the name of the product, we will use the price, all this stuff in our application, okay, in our app that we are going to build. So the API looks good to me. Let's go and use this. I think it is what we need. So my first thing is done. I have got a good API to work with so that it will be easy for me to explain everything to you. I'll count this as a step number 0. Kind of, this was exploration, this was kind of research only for us, right? So the real game begins now. Now what I will do, I will open up Android Studio. Let's open it up. If you are on your laptop, just try to do things along with me. It will be very easy for you. Okay, so here we have Android Studio. I will click on new projects. After you click on new projects, click on empty activity and then click on next. Let's give a good name to our project. I will call it shopping app. Okay, shopping app. This is the save location, this is the language, and I will click on finish. Once you click on finish, so in the background some downloads happen. Here you can see the background tasks. So these are the background tasks which are going on. It is importing some Gradle projects, it is doing some builds and so on. So by the time these things are going on, and it's done by the way, so the time taken for these background tasks, it will depend on multiple factors: your local machine, the storage in it, the internet, and so on. So now here I assume that you are familiar with this software a bit, okay, because I have already explained the basics of this software. Even if you are not, it's completely fine. I'm here to make things simple for you. I will try to keep on going and explaining things. So right now I have 2 things: main activity.kt. Here I will be writing all my source code, okay, and this is the design stuff, the XML part. So I will not do a complete go through of this software, but yes, whatever is needed for you to understand, even if you are first time visitor for these kind of tutorials. I have been making these tutorials, the basic ones, etc., since long, but it's fine even if you are completely new here. So if you get stuck somewhere, just put it down in the comment. So this is manifest folder, manifest directory. Okay, we are working with APIs, right? So let's add the permission of internet here, because we will consume the data from the internet, from the API. So I will be writing here, one second, I want to use here permissions. I think it should be user permission now. Then let's simply use the normal permission. Okay, permission, and Android name, it should auto suggest the name. So I think this parameter is somewhere incorrect. It should be uses permission, and then we have these options, internet is needed. So if you're developing an application which uses, let's say, your camera, if you're developing an application that works as filter, because there are so many, Android applications especially, which are heavily used by users out there to put filters to take beautiful selfies. So if your application will use camera, then make sure you have the permission of camera present here. Okay, and with that being said, I'll close it. It's having all the basic stuff, the name of the app, the icon, and all those basic things. So from now we will go on doing things step by step. Step 0, API exploration, is done. Step number 1 is we have to add important third-party dependencies, okay, which are mandatory to be used when you are working with APIs. So I will go here in Gradle scripts. I will open build.gradle. These are the dependencies which are already present here. JUnit is for testing. These are, important ones, material for designing and stuff. I will add here Retrofit, and I will also add here JSON. Okay, I will add JSON, and based on our needs, if we'll need more third-party dependency, then we'll keep on adding. So let's go on the web and search for the dependency for Retrofit, dependency Android, and this is their official website. Okay, and they have given the entire detailed documentation, a type safe HTTP client for Android and Java. Like, even if you are a complete beginner, you can follow these documentation to get things done, but don't worry, I know it's a bit boring to follow documentation in the beginning, so I'm here to make things simple for you. Okay, here if I scroll down, so they have this option in Gradle. If we want to use it, then this is the syntax. So I will add here Retrofit, okay, implementation, and then this is the group ID, com square up Retrofit 2. This is the artifact name, and after that we have to insert the version of this gav. Gav means group, G for group, A for artifact, V for version. So this is group, this is artifact, and this is version in the end. So what I'll do is, I need the latest version of this, right? So I'll go again here, and on the internet I'll write this. This is the GitHub page for this. So I will open tags, and I will look for the latest tag, 290. 290 is the version. Okay, 290 looks good. And after that one more thing I need is JSON as well. So if you see here, this is the documentation. They have mentioned how and what we have to do. Okay, all right, if you scroll a bit down, so Retrofit configuration, these are the converters that we will be using. By default, Retrofit can only deserialize HTTP bodies into OK HTTP response body, but it can only accept the request body type. For body converters can be added to support other types as well, because when we want data from API, we just don't want in response body type or OK HTTP's response body type. Okay, we want data in multiple formats, maybe string, integer, float, and so much more. So for that, these converters are helpful, and that's where JSON comes into picture. I'll click on JSON over here, and this is how JSON looks like. Okay, they have more options as well here, but for now I just want JSON. and that's how we will be using this will be the syntax. And if we go here, so let's just scroll down, and this seems to be the dependency for JSON, but I think I want the one which is having the group ID retrofit. So I will write here retrofit JSON dependency, retrofit JSON converter dependency. This is the one, I think. Yeah, this is the one. This is our group ID. So I will write here implementation and then group ID. This is the artifact name, converter JSON, and I think the version would be the same as the one for retrofit. So if we go back here and read this one, so this is also the same, and I am writing 290 only. These are the snapshot version for this. Our goal is to get the version for retrofit one. So I will write here Control F and square up, I guess. Yes, square up. So this is the one, and inside this we want to go for a retrofit. Yeah, retrofit 2. Inside this as well I want to check converter JSON. 210 is the snapshot version, so yes, we are good to use 290 for this as well. Perfect. So after this, just click on sync now. It will sync everything. It will download all the files which are relevant for these two dependencies. These are newly added, so we need to sync it up. I will close this now, and step number 1 is done. We added the relevant dependencies. Now can you guess what is the step number 2? Let me tell you. So step number 2 is we have the API already. In the source code we have to create the data. Okay, this is a step number 2. In the source code, that is in the Java directory, we have to create the data classes so that we can use the data. So you'll be thinking, what am I saying? So let me show you what I am saying. This is the data. Okay, this is the JSON data. I will copy this and I will convert this JSON data into Java or Kotlin classes, which are called as data classes or sometimes Pojo classes as well. So if I sit down and if I go on creating the data classes on my own, so I will first need to create a class which will have 4 parameters: products, total, skip limit. Then products will be of type array, then one more data class will be needed for all of these. So that will be too much, right, for a developer. This API is still small. I mean, you might be working with APIs which are having too many parameters, too many products, and so much. So what we have a hack for this. What that is, let me right click, go on new, and here if you see Kotlin data class from JSON, if I give JSON data to this extension, then it will do everything for me. It will create data classes, Kotlin data classes for me. So you will be like Samya ma'am, you have this extension but I don't have. Don't worry about that. Just go in file section, and if you go here in the settings, let me see where the settings are. So this is where you have to go, settings, and here if you see you have plugins, right? So in the plugin, just search for Kotlin, this one, like JSON to Kotlin class. This is the name of the extension. I have already installed this, so just click on install and OK. Then after that you will see it here. I'm going here, then I will right click new, and I will say Kotlin data class file from JSON. I will paste the JSON here. I will click on format. So this is well formatted here. Now we have 100 products. Okay, we will be showing 100 products in our application. So I have to give name of the class here. I will give it the name my data, and then I will click on generate. Okay, generate. So it has created my data. my data class. This is your data class in Kotlin. If you are going to create data class, then you have to use the keyword data as well. So this is data, this is class keyword, and then name of the class is my data, inside which I have four parameters. I have four things. Okay, so here it's exactly same as this one. I have products, I have limit, skip, total. And remember one thing, the name of the parameter here should be exactly same as what it is in the data class. API, the JSON information should be same as the Kotlin data class or Java data class, whatever you are creating. This is of type integer, this is of type integer, and this one as well, but this is of type list of product, in which each product looks like this. Each product has parameters like ID, rating, description, price. So if I go on the product data class, I have these parameters. I have ID, description, category, everything, right? Every single thing. Now what my goal is, I have done two steps. Number one, I have added the dependencies in the build.gradle. Number two, I have created the data class. I did it very quickly using the extension. If we'll manually sit and write, it will be very time consuming. Now step number 3. Can you guess? No need to make any guess if you just go here. So they are saying Retrofit turns your HTTP API into interface. So I need to create interface and which will look exactly similar to this. Syntax will be all same. Okay. So I am going here. I'll click on new. And then I have Kotlin class. I will write here API interface. This will be the interface for my API. Okay, API interface, and I want this to be interface. So here we go, interface, and the name is API interface. Now what I have to do, I have to give it basic information. Now what basic information? So I will just write fun keyword in Kotlin is used to create function. I will create a function get product data. Okay, get product data, because all I want is data of the products, okay, which are there in the API. And after that I want this to return everything which is here inside my data, right? So I will use the call which is inbuilt thing here in Retrofit, and I want this function to return my data. And apart from that, I want to give it information that I am trying to get stuff, I am trying to get things from where. Okay, this is not imported. 1 second. Control, 1 second, option return, that's it. So if it's not automatically resolved, then this is how you have to resolve it. Okay, and you have to give the endpoint of the API. This is important. So in your API, if you see, this is the base URL. Okay, this is the base URL, and this one, the products, is the endpoint. So it should be exactly same as what's written here. No spelling mistakes here, as well as no spelling mistake should be here as well. So this is automatically created by the extension, so no worries about that. But step number 3, which is about creating interface, that's it what you have to do here. I wrote the function get product data, which should return, which should make a call to the Pojo class, to the data class here, so that I can get all these data. Basically I will be getting into the products parameter, and I will get the array, I will get the complete list here. So that's pretty much it about step number 3. Now the next step is, that's very important, we have to get here in the main activity, and everything is set. We have dependencies. Step number 2, we had created the data class, right? Data is also here in the source code. And step number 3, we created the interface as well. Why did we create? Because these are the steps. It's written here that Retrofit turns the API into Java interface. So it was obvious for us to create an interface. Okay, after this they are telling you stuff that, okay, this is how you have to get the data in your main activity. So what I will do, I will create here parameters. I will create here parameters to get the data, okay, API data. So val retrofit data is equal to retrofit, once again, retrofit builder. Okay, before that, before getting the retrofit data, I think we need to ourselves create the builder as well. If you check this documentation here, so they are also telling you that, hey, I mean, you first need to, you know, create the retrofit builder, and then only you will be able to access the data. So let's do it this way only. So I will write here, before the data, I will write here retrofit builder is equal to, here I want to create the builder for retrofit. I mean, these are very generic steps which you don't have to rote learn. You can follow these from the website as well. Okay, retrofit option return builder. Okay, after that you have to give it some basic details like what is the base URL of the API. So base URL I'll copy from here only. This is the base URL, dummyjson.com. I will paste it over here, and after that I will use the converter factory as well, because we got to know that this will return, retrofit returns the data only in form of a request body, okay, HTTP request body, etc. But we want to play with data, we want to use it in different formats. So add converter factory, okay, add converter factory, and here you have to add JSON converter. It should itself, you know, write everything, but here I am writing option enter dot create. After that you have to pass a few more parameters, like you have to build the retrofit builder, and also you have to pass the interface which you have created in this step number 3. So our interface is API interface class.java. Perfect, looks good to me. We have created the retrofit builder. We are doing this step number 4, that is we are trying to get the API data here in the main class, in the main activity.kt. For that, the very first thing you have to do retrofit builder. You have to create retrofit builder. You have to tell it everything, that this is the base URL of your API. You will be using JSON converter, okay, because we want to play with data in multiple ways. So, and this is the API interface that we created. And after this, now I can do retrofit data. Now I can get retrofit data, okay, via retrofit builder dot. So it is telling me this method which I wrote here, get product data dot get product data. All right. After this, on retrofit data, you simply have to call this method enqueue. Okay, once you do that, and you have to just press once again, there is a shortcut to auto complete this method. You have to write retrofit.enqueue. So here we have two things, either we can write it manually as well, like we can create object. It will tell you like what type of object we have to create. We have to type we have to create object of type callback and then my data, which is the Pojo class. So we can do it like callback, and this is the one. Then we will pass the my data class here, and after that we will have, you know, the curly braces for the beginning, right? And then if you click here, it will ask you to implement some members. We can just do something like this, and okay, it will do everything for us, but I am doing Control Z once again, and let's clarify things so that everything is clear. So what we are doing here in this step number 4, we are just following the documentation. I mean, what's written here, we did in the third step this thing. We created the API interface, right, so that we can access the endpoint of the API. Okay, these are the steps. I mean, whenever you are going to use any third-party dependencies, you must follow the documentation. But for a beginner, it might be a bit difficult. That's why I'm here to explain you things, okay, how to practically and easily do this. So step number 3 is done. In step number 4, they are telling us, okay, you have to use retrofit. This is the Java code. Actually, we are writing equivalent of Java into Kotlin. So here, if we go again, we are creating retrofit builder here, we are telling all the details, then we are accessing the retrofit data using the builder dot get product data. This is the method which I created here in the API interface, and I'll use this to fetch all the data from the API. Which data? Which is here inside my data class, my data Pojo class, and it will have the same thing which is available here inside your like main data, product total, escape limit, everything. These are the things which I'm having here, right? So I'll get everything, all the data which is in the API. So after this, retrofit data, this is very important, okay? This is very, very important. .enq. After this, you can either manually write as I just showed, or you can do control shift space. Control shift space. This is in Mac, like find the equivalent in other like whatever you are using, Ubuntu, Windows, anything. So in Mac, control shift space, and this is the one which I want to use, and it auto completed everything. Don't worry, I'll explain you, okay, what just happened. So it's just about these two methods. Everything about APIs boils down to these two methods, on response and on failure. What we are doing here, we have the data, we have the retrofit data, we are calling the enq method, okay, enq method, and after implementing this, we have two important functions here, on response and on failure. So we are calling API, right? If the API call will be a success, then this method will be called, and we have to write here code whatever we want from the API, okay? If it will be failure, if API call is not successful, maybe because of poor internet, or because maybe API is broken for any such reason, then you will get the failure message here. Here what I will do, let's assume that we have got everything, the API call is a success, and now I have access to the data which is there in my API. So I have access to all of these datas, I have access to all the product list, everything. So let's do one thing now. Here I have to write what you want to perform when API call is a success, okay, we will write that here. If API call is a failure due to any reason, we have to, maybe we can print log and all those stuff. So on failure, once again, import. So on failure, you can show anything, maybe like t dot message, whatever the throwable is telling us, why it failed and all those stuff. I'll show that here. And if it is a success, so if it's success, then obviously I'll get the data of all these products from the API, all these products like iPhone, Oppo, and blah blah blah, and I will show it in my application in a beautiful way. So first let's check if we are getting the data from the internet, from the API. So here what I will do, I will create a parameter to fetch the data from the API, okay, you can call it anything. So var response body, okay, let's say I'm trying to get the response detail, right? So response body is equal to, this is the response, right, that I'm getting. So response dot body, and after this, I have the response body. It should have these details, I guess, these 4 parameters and all these stuff. So I want to boil down, I want to go down into this one. I'm very much interested in the products, not in these parameters which are of type integer. These are of type, this is of type array, right? So I want to get into this. So val product array, maybe let's write, okay, is equal to response body dot. So you can see it is showing me the 4 parameters which I have right here, products, total, escape limit. It is showing me what's here, these 4 parameters, right? So I will print products. It's asking me to do a save call, because might be if products the array is null, just in case. So then also your application it doesn't crash. I will print this on my app's screen. So right now my app screen is saying hello world. So I will override this thing. let's give this text view a name. I'll give it like you are called by a name, so this should have a name. So I will call it TV text view name. Okay, here what I will do, I mean, we can either print it print it on this text view, or just see it in the logs if we are getting stuff or not. So what I will do now is I will create a text view TV like hello or anything, TV products. Okay, products is equal to find view by ID, and this is of type text view r dot id dot TV name, exactly, and TV product dot set text. I want to set some text here, and the text is product array dot maybe toString. Let's do toString, and I think we are all good here. Let's run the app and see if it's good or not. So I did run the application here. It's little bit complex working with APIs, but not too much. Step number 1, we added the dependencies, right? We added the dependencies in the build.gradle here, in build.gradle, right? This is here, one second, it is happening, Gradle build is happening. Let's see what we see on the applications screen, on the emulators screen. Sorry, this is called emulator. Okay, you can see launching app and all those stuff. So even if it fails, then we'll have an opportunity to see, I mean, how to go about solving such errors, etc. So wow, it worked in the first go. I mean, this is what products parameter has. This is the JSON data, right, that we have here. If you go here and if you look at this, so the first brand is Apple and all these details are here. So if you look at this one as well, this is the product data. It's showing me the same thing, like exactly same thing, but we can't show the data in this way to our user. They will be like, oh my god, what is this? They'll not buy anything from your starter, from a company, if you show data in this way. So what we will do in the next tutorial, join me in the next tutorial, that will be obviously of course free of cost for you on this channel itself. Join me there, where I'll explain, like, we have got the data, we have got the product information from the JSON here. Everything is here, like iPhone 9, Oppo, blah blah, everything, if you want to read it in better way. So iPhone 9 is the first product, then iPhone X, that's too old, and then Samsung Universe, all these data we have it here. But our goal is now to design it in a good way. So meet me in the next tutorial where I'll teach you. Till now, if everything is clear, let me know in the comment section. Just say that okay, I got it, or maybe just write understood till now, watched till the end. Just let me know that you are following with me. And if you have built till now, just keep pushing it to GitHub, and after the second tutorial you can show it to the world as well, that hey, I have built this application. I hope this detailed tutorial was helpful for you. If yes, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to Scalar's YouTube channel. If you have any queries or doubts, make sure you drop them in the comment section below, and I will be happy to answer them.